Hi guys, so a little update on what's going on at the new property. So the snapdragons are just starting out, and then this yarrow is starting to bloom as well. One of the heads wilted, but the other one looks good. And then I have it's called Greek basil, so it's this bush basil with really tiny leaves, and then the amaranth is starting to grow. We have some calendula in bloom. I really like calendula. Most of the flowers are really small, so I've ordered some new seeds of varieties that make a little bit larger blooms. And then there was bunny tails, and these are carnations. Here I have some dianthus or sweet william. And these, I don't know what's going to happen to them. They're probably not going to bloom this year, and I don't know if they're going to survive winter. Here's the potatoes that we hoed last week. The onions ready to harvest. Here's feverfew. You can maybe tell in this video that some of the leaves are drying out, and that's tarnished plant bugs. I'm going to find out later. Then I have some cornflower, and these are straw flowers. And then in between is some lemon balm. And I didn't show it really, but next to the straw flower was cress. And then this is statice, blooming and looking great. Different varieties of statice here. Really beautiful. My daughter's from last time brought it here. And then these are asters. I don't know if you can tell, but they don't look good at all. And probably tarnished plant bug on them. The Levitera looks great. I've actually harvested off of that. Then I have some cosmos. They're also looking good. And the zinnias, not looking good at all. Like every other petal is coming off and they're misshaped. So I'm thinking that the tarnished plant bug is affecting them. Here is celosia. It's starting to bloom, but it's really short, so I don't know what's going to happen to that. And then here are some sunflowers. You can maybe tell that they have a lot of bugs on them, mainly the tarnished plant bugs, but they're also a bug, I think it's called Brassica shield bug or something like that. So we'll see what happens. Then here I have some winter squash interplanted with some echinacea, I think, or rudbeckia. Second succession of sunflowers. These are these are Bortolotti beans, so beans for drying. These are actually from beans that I saved from last year. This is a bed of Eryngium or sea holly. Good, I guess. And then I have some zucchini, some basil, and I think these are asters as well. And then this is Tweedia. We'll see if they do anything. And then I planted out some strawberries that molted and died. This is corn. And then zucchinis that have been hurt by or eaten by slugs. And then zucchinis that haven't been eaten by slugs, and sunflowers. So these two beds didn't have the slug edging, so that's probably why. Some more zucchini, the next succession of statice, and some strawberry plants that actually are looking better. And then these two beds are going to be planted out with all of these plants that I have with me today. So these, I don't really know what all of it was. I'll show you later too. But I got planted out in those beds. But over here I have my hydrangeas. Some of them are in blue. Looking mostly good. And then I have these fruit trees, so I don't know which one is which, but one is a cherry tree, 2 of them are pear trees, and then one is a plum tree. I think that the last one I'm going to show you over here is the plum tree. Pretty sure. So I bought larger pots to plant these ones out in. There's just an overview of what the area is looking like right now. And then we went to our summer house, and I got this chipper that turns branches into wood chips, and we really, really love it. I've been using it to mulch around our apple trees here at our summer house, and I've also been using it to fill the raised beds. I don't know, it smells good. It gets really finely chopped, so I feel like it's going to break down easily. So that was a project of a day, and then the next day I went out early in the morning before my family had woken up to get some planting done. So when we walk down from our house, that's where we have our raised beds here. So in the first one, there is corn that I multi-sowed. So now it's time to thin them out. I think these are sweet corn. I don't know how they're going to produce. I feel like they really didn't like being multi-sown like this. They all look kind of pale green, yellowish, and aren't really growing that well. So I did fertilize them. I put down some alfalfa pellets, but I think I'm also going to give them some fish emulsion to try to give them a nitrogen boost. Maybe also thinning them out will be good for them. And then in this bed, I'm planting out carrots. So I have some fall carrots that I'm planting out that maybe we'll be able to store in the bed. Then I think I did a few rows of a summer carrot as well, just for fresh eating. And hopefully there'll be enough time and nice weather for these to grow to give us a harvest. And then I was planting or sowing here these, I think I was sowing beets and zucchini into these ones, and I actually already planted the beets out. I planted them out at our new property, and the zucchini I planted out here at our summer house. So this is in our summer house that I'm doing this. And I think I planted something else as well, but I can't remember right now. So usually I plant or sow seeds in soil blocks, but it was just a lot easier to bring these plug trays to the country house instead of bringing like all the things I need for making soil blocks. And we have like I think I used just potting soil for this. Like these seeds are large seeds, beet seeds and zucchini seeds are quite large, so I think that they came up and I've already planted them out, so I know that works. And then these rose cuttings, I don't know if I've showed you these before, but I put them into my cutting box for plant cuttings. And you can see that they rooted out really nicely. So now I am dividing them just to try to save space. I put more than one cutting into each pot. And once I noticed that they were rooting, I'm now going to put them into individual pots and get them out of that plastic container that I have my cuttings in. So I put them in a larger plastic container and I put the lid on. I mist them, try to mist them as frequently as I can. And I put the lid on so it gets really warm and humid in there. So this is the box that I was talking about. And in here I have some other roses, and I also have some cherry trees and pear trees and hydrangeas that I took cuttings off of. But I've noticed that that really works really well, that little chamber. And then I also bought some rooting hormone that I showed you when I did my chrysanthemum cuttings. But I didn't use that with these roses, I think. I think I hadn't received that yet. So these roses were just potting soil and in the chamber. And I saw a video on Florette's YouTube channel on rose cuttings just a couple of days before I was planning on taking the cuttings, so that was great. And something I didn't know is you do the cuttings on the branches that have blooms on them, and I didn't know that at all, so that was great. And here's what they look like, and that's it for today. Thank you for joining me for another video. I'll see you next time.